In the heart of Malaga province, just a few kilometers from the capital, we find one of the most beautiful and amazing areas on the planet, the area known as the Natural Park of the Sierra de las Nieves. It covers an area which encompasses the towns of Alozaina, Casarbonela, El Burgo, Guaro, Estan, Monda, Ojen, Tolox and Junquera, as well as parts of the municipal boundaries of Ronda and Peralta. Its position as the sole habitat of a number of species of flora and fauna led UNESCO to declare this area a biosphere reserve in 1995. The spirit which permeates the Sierra de las Nieves is coloured with green. The green of the fruits of the fields, of the branches of the trees, of the moss on the rocks, and the green tones which paint the mountains of this district of Malaga. An area where enjoyment and nature go hand in hand to teach the world the pleasure of the most authentic. A dreamlike spot which is a model of life and of respect for our environment. The Sierra de las Nieves is a place whose inhabitants have known how to hold on to the essence of their origins, allowing the men and women of this district to continue to listen to what their elders so faithfully relate to them, to appreciate their customs, to savour the taste of the foods which are grown here, to breathe the fragrance of nature deep into our lungs until they are filled with life. The Sierra de las Nieves, a natural reserve where the rocks, the water, the flora and the fauna present a spectacle which is the essence of simplicity, but one which at the same time is also the most balanced and the most complete of nature in all its splendour. The Sierra de las Nieves is noted for its limestone rock formations. The rocks we see now are the sediments deposited on the seabed over millions of years and which were forced up to the surface by the tectonic movements of the Earth's crust. Today, wind and water have formed them into fantastical shapes which can become almost anything in our imaginations. Lichen and moss cover the rocks with green in the wettest areas, thanks to the lack of pollution in this area of incalculable ecological value. The peaks of the Sierra wait patiently for the mountaineers and mountain bikers who come to experience the delights of this magical place. The area's network of mountain paths and tracks takes us through wild landscapes where the sound of silence becomes ever more intense as we climb higher, leaving behind us the diminishing vegetation. such as El Tajo de la Caína, the mountain pass of El Saucillo, or El Cuerno ravine, reveal to us hidden places which are only accessible to those who want to enjoy nature in its rawest state. And above, right at the very top, is the majestic mountain peak of La Torrecilla, watchfully standing guard over those below, to remind us of the respect we must keep in our minds when we visit this natural space. The force of nature brings forth water in the Sierra de las Nieves, filling its springs and rivers with beauty and splendour. These water-bearing areas have created an entire ecosystem where shrubs adapted to the abundance of water sprout up all around, along with the arbour of trees which gives its name to the riverside wood which has grown up around it. The moss on the rocks shows us that the current carrying its pure waters has another destination, the mouth of the river. On the northern slopes of the plateau, we find the Turon River, whose course is one of the best preserved in Malaga province. Its course through the village of El Burgo takes us through a truly idyllic spot, where history has brought it to the fore by founding this village at its side. A little further down, as it flows out of the village, it is joined by several tributaries, amongst them the stream of La Fuensanta, which as it slowly flows along leaves behind it a delightful copse of poplars, beside which is one of the guest houses most representative of the district. The Rio Grande, the big river, whose name reflects the force and sheer volume of its source, is on the eastern slopes. The water emerges beneath a small cavern within the town boundaries of Junquera as it rushes to start its journey. Its torrent slowly calms down as it is channeled into waterfalls which are used in the production of hydroelectric power. Further on, we see it flow past some old wheat mills before it goes through the village of Guaro, as it leaves for its final destination as the largest tributary of the Guadalhorce River. And the water lives here also in the limestone rock which forms the massifs of this Malaga mountain range. The Sierra de las Nieves, with its flooded underground chamber of Zarzalones, is one of the greatest challenges in the world for the most experienced and proficient underwater speleologists, who delight in exploring its underwater world and its different underground galleries. Outside on the southern slopes we find the Rio Verde, the Green River. Its course, which serves as the boundaries of this natural park, is a truly fascinating sight for any visitor to behold. As it reaches Istan, the river's waters are collected into the Concepcion Reservoir, which supplies the nearby Costa del Sol with water. The fountains abound with the wealth of this natural resource, showing the grandeur of this aquiferous ecosystem as they fill the squares and streets of villages like Ojen or Casarabonela with their sweet sound. The Spanish fir thrives in this area, demonstrated by the fact that it's classified as one of the largest reserves in the world for this species. Its pyramid shape and its pointed tips present a truly wonderful natural spectacle as a conifer which belongs to the Mediterranean forest's oldest group of firs, whose origins date back to the time of the glaciers. The area's temperature and humidity are fundamental for the expansion of these wooded areas, which is why the greatest concentration of Spanish fir is found in the shaded areas of the northern part of the reserve. There, at an altitude between 900 and 1800 meters, there are more than 3,000 hectares of virgin forest. Truly a feast for the eyes, which requires us to take every precaution possible when we visit it. The ecological importance of these Spanish firs in the natural park of the Sierra de las Nieves means that the levels of protection and vigilance are much greater in the most densely wooded areas. The forest guards constantly patrol to ensure that nothing puts these trees and their ecosystem at risk, so that anyone who wants to come here to appreciate this natural wonder can do so at any time of the year. Time passes by these trees, their appearance only changing in the depths of winter. Snow leaves its white mantle on their crowns, as if their branches had wrapped themselves in a pristine coat